All right, let's just jump right in, shall we? We're going to talk about something from neuroscience that is, well, it's both incredible and, honestly, a little bit scary.
I can delete memories now, just like that. It sounds like science fiction, but it's a thing.
The problem is remembering why I wanted to. And that right there is the catch, isn't it? It's the central paradox. You get rid of the memory of the pain, but what if you also get rid of the reason you felt that pain in the first place?
I mean, really think about this for a second. What if you could train your brain to just forget on command? You know that thing you try so hard not to think about? And the harder you try, the more it pops into your head? Yeah, that one. What if you could just make it vanish for good?
So let's be super clear about something. This is a huge distinction. We're not talking about just suppressing a memory. You know when you actively push a thought away? That's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes a ton of energy, and eventually it's going to shoot right back up to the surface. No, we're talking about deleting it. Like taking a pin to that beach ball and just letting all the air out. It's gone.
Okay, let's just indulge in the fantasy for a minute. The whole idea of a clean slate. Because let's be honest, the promise of that, it's so seductive.
Just imagine erasing that horrible fight you had with your ex. Or, oh, what about that one super embarrassing thing you did 5 years ago that still makes you cringe in the shower? Imagine it just gone. And the really heavy stuff, the trauma that your body still physically holds onto, imagine that just disappearing.
Gone. Erased.
Clean. No more late-night spirals, no more replaying the past. Just a fresh start. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Your memories aren't just data files on a hard drive. They're you. They are the building blocks of your entire identity. So what happens when you start pulling out the bricks? So how is any of this even possible? Let's get into the science of it, because this isn't magic. It's all about how our brains become editable. Okay, so it all comes down to this really cool process called memory reconsolidation. Here's the deal. Your brain isn't like a computer hard drive where a file is saved and stays the same forever. It's not like that at all. Every time you remember something, you're not just reading a file. You're actually pulling it out, opening it up, and in that moment, it's vulnerable, it's soft, it's changeable. Your brain literally rewrites the memory a tiny bit every single time you access it.
And this gets us back to that earlier idea. Suppressing a memory is like putting up a temporary roadblock on a neural pathway. But pruning, that's different. That's like telling your brain's road crew, hey, nobody uses this road anymore. It's not important. And believe it or not, the brain listens. It starts to tear up the pavement, weaken the connection, and eventually just remove it.
And get this, you can actually do this on purpose. It's a technique called directed forgetting. It goes something like this. First, you bring up the memory. You have to access it. Then you just acknowledge it. No fighting, no struggling. And then, and this is the key part, you consciously decide not to rehearse it. You don't play it over and over. You just let it be. And by doing that, you let your brain's natural weakening process do its thing.
Now here's where it gets really powerful. It turns out you can often erase the emotional charge of a memory, not the event itself. So you might not forget that something bad happened, but you can kind of detach the pain from it. You can remember the facts without feeling the gut punch all over again.
Okay, so that's the science. But what happens when you take this out of the lab and try it in real life? Well, this is where the theory gets a little messy. Let's talk about the experiment and the high price of forgetting.
So, I tried it myself. I started small, just picked one of those embarrassing memories that I'd obsessed over for years. And after just a few days, it felt different. It was softer, the sharp edges were gone. So I got bolder. I started targeting bigger things, real mistakes, painful betrayals. And honestly, it was working. The constant looping in my head stopped. The actual pain started to fade. I was sleeping better. It felt incredible, like I'd unlocked a superpower.
But then, the bill came due. A friend mentioned something I did years ago. Something I did that was, well, it was hurtful.
And I couldn't remember it at all, not even a little bit. It wasn't fuzzy or distant, it was just gone. I had actually done it. I'd pruned it right out of my mind. And the feeling, it wasn't relief. It was this deep, cold, unnerving blankness. Here was my friend telling me a story about me, about something I did, and it felt like they were talking about a complete stranger. Because here's what I realized was truly lost. It wasn't just the event itself. I lost the why I did it. I lost what I felt at the time. I lost the whole architecture of that moment, the lesson I was supposed to learn from it. I got rid of the pain, sure, but I also got rid of the meaning.
Which brings us to this really unsettling final question. If your memories, all of them, the good and the bad, are what make you you, then who are you when they're gone? If you start deleting pieces of yourself, what's left?